Hi, you've reached Call Your Publicist, your go-to source for PR moves, media moments, and brand strategies that keep businesses and people in the headlines for the right reasons. I'm one of your hosts, Jenna Guarneri, CEO and founder of James G Public Relations.
And I'm your co-host, Alexandra Anastasio. Let's start talking.
Before we dive into today's guest, let's set the scene. Picture this. Your love language is restaurant reservations. Trying new spots is basically your weekend routine, and no one at your table can start eating because your phone eats first. Now imagine turning that into your full-time job. Today we're chatting with Rebecca from Devour Media, one half of the creative duo behind the food and lifestyle brand taking social media by storm. From viral restaurant moments to mouth-watering content, she's helping redefine what it means to make people hungry online. Rebecca, we're so pumped to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited as well.
Oh, great. Amazing. Let's dive in because I've always been a huge fan of you personally, right? I love the brand you've created. And I love a great founder story. So you and your husband, now husband, started a business, right? This is back when you guys started dating in 2012. Feels so long ago, by the way.
I'm so old.
We're all so old.
Wasn't 2012 just like yesterday?
I think so.
In our minds it is.
Yeah, and you guys had different careers back then. So what made you guys take that leap from what you were doing to say we're going to start a business together?
All right. Yeah. So basically, what really happened was Greg and I met. I met him at the Dream Hotel at a pool party on a Monday afternoon. I walked up to him and I asked him out. And
love it.
yeah, and we got married on the 5-year anniversary of that day, which is very fun. Yeah.
Also, throwing it back with the Dream Hotel and the rooftop party.
Yes.
It's like, remember those days?
Roll back.
Yeah.
Young and single and ready to mingle. Yeah. A couple shots of tequila in me, and that's what I did. And it worked out. We've been together for like almost 14 years. So clearly something was working out there. Anyways, so we got together. We wanted something creative that we could do together. Greg really wanted to write and explore photography, things like that, and have an actual blog, like an online blog. And I was bartending full time at that point all over Manhattan. So we were like, well, what better way to do it than like do something with food, do something with like maybe interviewing chefs or, writing up articles about the best date night spots to go in New York City or something like along those lines. And it organically turned into just a hobby, like a dating hobby, like something that we could do and have fun together while exploring New York City and walking around all the streets and things like that. And so back in the day, Instagram had just launched. And when Instagram was its first little baby, it was photos only, if you remember correctly, which is crazy to think about. So we were like, all right, let's do an Instagram. We'll upload the pictures of like, say, these date nights and things like that, or the food and the drinks. And we'll write a little caption about where it is, etc. And we visited a place in the Lower East Side called Set. Now it's still there. It's down on like, I don't know, Orchard and Delancey or whatever, somewhere down there, because I'm too old to remember the Lower East Side now. Anyways, they reached out to us and they said, hey, listen, we really like the pictures that you put on Instagram of our sliders and our like cocktail fruit punch bowl or whatever. Would you ever consider or be interested in doing the photography and the write-ups on our Instagram for our restaurant full time? And this is like about a year into us like doing this as a hobby. And we were like, wow, I never could have imagined like maybe this could be something. Maybe we could turn this into a little bit of extra cash for like rent, like New York City's expensive. So any way you can hustle, we're going to do it. Greg was a neurophysiologist in brain and spinal surgeries at that point.
Wow.
Yes.
So different.
Yes.
So different.
Yeah, so different. So he had gotten his license to be able to do that. So he was in hospitals all over the New York City, Long Island area with a company, obviously, full-time salaried, But it was frustrating because he worked so much and he was on call so much. And of course, I worked nights as a bartender. So we would like never see each other. I'd be rolling in at like 5 a.m. as he's going to the hospital. So it just wasn't an ideal lifestyle. And we were like, could you imagine if we got enough clients to where we could do this and supplement our income? So that was the ultimate goal, right? You have to do a little bit of simple math on that and try and figure out, how much can I charge per month? And at that point, the restaurant had said basically what they could afford to pay us per month, which was like, I don't know, I think it was like $400 or $500 a month, like cash, whatever, which was great. We were like 25 years old. Like this was just like a fun hobby, right? No one thought it would be full time. So we picked them up. We started with them for about a month. It ended up getting so much traction because Instagram was so new that photos of their restaurant and their food were picked up off of our Instagram and reposted by like Food and Wine, Food Network, like the New York Times, like all the big publishers that had just started Instagram and didn't have content would then just rip our content and give us credit, obviously. But in like posts about the restaurants. So then restaurants saw the value, right? So they saw the value in having us come in because we were like the people that kept being reposted by all these huge names. So that restaurant knew another guy, and that guy knew another guy. And basically it was a snowball of Lower East Side and Chinatown restaurants that reached out. And we basically compiled enough together to where I was like, all right, let's quit our jobs. And we had hired our first employee almost 9 years ago. That's Alex. He's still with us. He's phenomenal. So we had Alex coming with us to like every restaurant shoot. We would go in like once a month, shoot everything on the menu. And then of course TikTok came out. So we were like, all right, now we got to jump on TikTok. So we, short format videos came out. We started to learn how to film and not like, we're not with professional cameras or anything like that. So let's be honest, it's social media, it's iPhones for us. So just learning how to shoot with an iPhone, get natural lighting, et cetera, and then edit within each app itself. So that's how it kind of started. It was very organic, and honestly, nothing was planned. Absolutely nothing was planned. We did not mean to be where we are. We are very grateful. We are beyond thankful, obviously. But I don't think you could have paid us $1 million back then and we wouldn't have believed you that this is where we would be right now.
Those stories, because really we talked to so many founders and a lot of them say they didn't have the business plan, they didn't have the blueprint for this, they just dove in. And that's the best way to do it because you're not wasting time, you're not overanalyzing, you're enjoying what you're doing in the process as well, which then leads to success, all those different factors.
Absolutely. And Greg went to college for film and editing. So Greg is a really, really good editor on like Lightroom or whatever the heck it's called. I don't even know. See, this is where I went. I have my associates in business entrepreneurship. So my side of our entire business is money, it's numbers, it's invoices, it's contracts, it's very business. I am like the office everything. While Greg, on the other hand, edits literally every video you see on Devour Power goes through Greg. He edits every single one of them himself only to this day. So we make a really good team, and that just kind of happened again naturally. That's just our personality traits. So I think that was like a huge factor to why we are successful, obviously. We learned very early on that you need to divide your job and not step on each other's toes. So I don't have to answer to him and he doesn't have to answer to me. We obviously we share the scheduled calendar because there's a lot of things going on, but other than that, we kind of have our own personal space. So 14 years, we're still married, have 2 kids, and have a good business. And that's the only way to do it.
I love that because you just said like how you're the business strategy, he's the creative strategy. And so the two minds come together, right? So if you were both the business or both the creative, it might not have, worked out the way it has
right.
because, then you're each you're not that you're
stepping on toes.
right, you're stepping on toes. There could be those differences, but you both have your roles, and it comes together, and I think that's beautiful. I love how you said when you first started on Instagram, it was just photos, right?
Yeah.
So what?
Throwback.
Right, throwback. Now we have TikTok. Now, obviously, Instagram with videos. Do you remember your first reel that blew up? Right, because you have those photos, but now we go video content. So was there like that aha moment where you're like, oh wait, video is where it's at?
Because you're not just getting regular views. Let's be clear.
Yeah, you're
here.
getting.
We're talking millions, and like there's crazy numbers for you.
Yeah.
That's a question.
I don't know if I would say we had an aha moment with a specific video, but I can tell you we had an aha moment with specific foods in our video. That's what it was. Like, we really realized that our brand, our followers hone in on the very over the top, cheesy, gooey, etc. And we capitalized on it. We would basically only, to this day, we basically only take clients that we know the menu's going to make sense. We turn down a lot of people, and it's I don't want someone to spend money working with us if I already know it's not going to go well. Like, that's not a nice thing to do to them.
Right.
These are all small business owners too. I don't want to ever make someone feel like they were used by us, So I think our aha moment was like the Tony Baloney's of the world, where he'll do the swine fighter with like 7,000 pepperonis on it. The Marks Off Madison with the lasagna with like the 40 different layers that video explodes it doesn't matter if we repost it every other day, it will hit like 20 million views. Yeah, I'd say the aha is more what type of food and things are featured, more so than like video only. We obviously stick to video only now because that's what everybody, that's what all these apps want.
Right. Yeah.
But it's funny, for our full-time restaurant clients, we still use Tuesdays to post one single still photo on all of their accounts on Instagram. Because what if Instagram's like, oh, screw videos, so we're going back to photo. We want to make sure we're still in that game somehow.
That's smart. That's smart.
Mitigating risk. Yes, thinking ahead.
But I think it's smart too, because I know for myself, I'll say, let's say I'm going to go eat somewhere, right? And I'm looking at the menu. Visually, I want to know, what does it look like? Like, in my mind, I'm saying, okay, well, I need to see your chicken. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I need to see what that looks like. Is your chicken a thick piece? I'm not going to eat it. So I will immediately go to Instagram and I will start scrolling. And a lot of times I'll say to my fiance, I'll say, do you want to see? He's looking at something. I'm like, let me see if there's a picture of it. And I'm looking for it. So that's why I think also having photos is important, because if I got to watch the video, it's fine. But I need to see what
it actually looks like.
Yeah, what that actually looks like. Or especially with drinks or cocktails. I'm not gonna lie, you show me a fun looking cocktail, immediately I went. So there's a restaurant I went to in August. It's in Jersey called 618. Okay. I don't know if you've heard of it. And they had a cocktail in a tub with a rubber ducky. I literally snapped a picture. I was like, do you have this drink still? So I think power.
Yes. That's
so it's important to keep both mediums going, video and still photos.
Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about your brand, because you have such a powerful brand. But in the early days, you were emailing chefs yourself, you and Greg. You were leaving your business card in the checks, right? There was so much hustle behind it, which is a lot of that business, that personal relationship building, which is what we do in PR. So what did you teach? What did all of that teach you about relationships and building your brand?
I think, besides the fact that, and I know that most people listening probably have an idea, but I want to put it out there that this social media game is not easy. It is not fun 100%. It is
not fun. That's such a good point.
So much work. Like, I was somewhere recently where someone asked me, oh, do you like actually work full time? And I want to be like, I'm 14 years in, there's still weeks that I'm like 75-hour weeks. Like, easily, you know, and it's all the time. I mean, it's a lot, you know.
You don't turn it off at the end of the day. It's constant.
You can't turn it off. I'm answering emails all night long. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. and there's like 4 more inquiries, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm not going to mess around and like let somebody opportunities slip by either. But first of all, your reputation is everything, right? It could take 20 years to build a good reputation, but it takes 5 minutes to destroy it. So I think one of the main things that I've learned about networking is taking people at face value. A lot of people are, especially in New York City, there's a lot of restaurants, there's a lot of owners, and there's a lot of bullshit, excuse my language. There's a lot of lying, there's a lot of deceit. There's I've got quite a few, more than you'd imagine, instances where like a restaurant approaches us and like I go to sign a contract with them to work with them full time, and then all of a sudden last minute I find out that, oh, that guy stole the entire recipe book from this guy that we already work with, and this chef tried to poach this kitchen staff, and this guy it used to work at this pizza place and he literally stole the sauce recipe, so I can't work with them. It I think hustling and meeting and networking with a lot of people in New York City has really taught me to be very diligent about who we speak with, who we give the time of day, who we say yes to. And it reminds me of the importance of being true to yourself, true to your brand. Don't bend. I don't care if someone's like, I'll pay double per month, but I want you to post my salad company. I'm sorry. Like, I literally can't do that. Like, it's gonna flop and it's gonna look bad for me. I think it's extremely important to be kind, be nice, be very transparent. There's a lot of people in my position that are quote unquote influencers or quote unquote content creation and stuff like that. And in order to spare your reputation, I think that obviously treating people how you want to be treated has to happen.
Yeah, and so this is something I've always loved about you guys is that you're very true to who you are and your vision and your mission, right? It all comes together of why you're such a fantastic brand. And that's such an important part of building a brand is that authenticity, is that people you create the world that you want to create, you pull everyone in that's like-minded, and it just then also you wind up loving what you do every day because it means more to you when you have all these elements together. So I love that you've been able to continue that. And we think here it also, you want to make sure you're giving value to your clients that you sign on with. If you can't deliver something amazing for that salad brand, what's the point of bringing them on? You're not going to feel good about the relationship. You're not going to
I'm not going to step into it knowing it's going to fail and then I'm going to have to explain to them why. I already know it's not going to work. Like
you're yourself up for failure, which is not going to help you down the line because then you can't show success from that relationship.
And just like you said, in terms of it takes, let's say, 20 years to build something, but in 5 minutes it can come down. So if you go into something knowing it's not going to work, you don't know, well, okay, what are they going to say and how is that going to affect my business? Because again, it is. Yep. So, and it's competitive, right? And so you always trying to stay one step ahead. And so I think it's smart to work with those brands or those companies or those chefs and restaurants that you align with, because that's when everybody does their best work, right? That's when you bring the best to the table.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think true too is that, I read somewhere that once you guys hit 15,000 followers or something like that, restaurants started outreaching you and tried to comp you meals. Come on in, we'll comp you this. And you guys were very true from that moment. You're like, we're paying for our meals the whole time.
The reason behind that is we did start to do comps. We started to do like the media invites because that became a thing where a PR firm will reach out to 50 influencers and be like, oh, there's a free dinner tonight. But you have to do, one Instagram in exchange or whatever it might be. There's always a price, right? And we started to go to those things and we noticed a couple things. The inauthenticity behind especially the events, because nothing is made the way normal people, clients, customers that walk in are going to get it, right? 2, you've got all these people clamoring over 2 burgers. People are standing on chairs and shining lights. And honestly, and I'm not trying to be an asshole here, excuse my language, it's obnoxious. I want nothing to do. I don't want to be seen with that crowd. I don't want to be part of that crowd. I don't want to be affiliated. We do not do that. That's not cute. And number 2, the main reason that we started being very diligent about we pay is we were at a restaurant where the food came out semi-frozen still, and it was a big name. I'm not going to say who it was, but it was a big name restaurant, and we were like, now what? Like, I had to return the check. I was like, I'm so sorry, but like, I can't post this. There's no way. I'm not giving up my reputation for X amount of dollars, right? It's not worth it to me. But you also like hurt people's feelings in the meantime. People get angry in the meantime. It's too messy. It's just too messy. So when we go to restaurants to go like potentially film or post something or try them out before asking if we can film anything, we don't say anything. Like we don't announce we're coming. We pay, we eat, we leave. That's it. Because I don't want to deal with the conversation of if we didn't like something, or when they know that we're coming and then they make it differently, they make it bigger, they make it more extravagant, or they start sending out dish after dish after dish, which again, thank you, but also I'm one person, like I can't, you're overwhelming. You're overwhelming me with plates. Like I really appreciate it, but like we also want to semi enjoy our job still, you know?
Yeah, but I love that you're putting boundaries behind
Yes.
this, right? You're just like, I want to enjoy the process. That's too much. It's creating a stress that you don't need. You want to do the business your way, which is why you went into business to begin with.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a funny game, social media. It really is.
Great. We couldn't agree
It definitely is. Well, it's interesting that you just shared that because it kind of leads into my next question was, what's one leadership lesson that you've learned from working directly with restaurants and small business owners?
My one lesson, I might have said this before with you, Jenna, but I think my top thing is just because you can doesn't mean you should. And it's just, you have to live by it. You have to. There's only so many favors that you can do. There's only so many yeses. You can't be a yes person. It just doesn't work. People will walk all over you. You will get taken advantage of. It comes with the territory, and social media is still semi new. It's still the Wild West. I think a lot of people, especially the generation above us, the boomers of the world, don't fully understand, and they don't necessarily see the value all the time, which can be very frustrating, and trying to explain to them that it's not like the olden days. Like I can't give you a guaranteed number of people that are going to be seeing this, or like a guaranteed this or a guaranteed that. There is no controlling any algorithms.
No.
So I can't
That
just
is my biggest pet peeve is when people guarantee something.
How?
You
You
can't.
can't promise it. But what I kind of feel like, don't you feel like if you connect, I'd rather say to a client, we made 5 really genuine connections. I'm just using a random number because we've had engagement in our, in our socials with somebody that really is meaningful, right? And they've answered us or responded to what we've shared in a meaningful way, not just like, oh, looks so good, or, I love it. To me, when you make those meaningful connections, to me, they mean a lot more than having 500 likes, right? So I'm sure the same with the videos and, the people that you work with. If you're connecting with a few people, those people may wind up in that restaurant. They may wind up going there, as opposed to somebody go, oh, looks so good, and moves on to the next thing.
And a lot of the bigger problem too, especially with people who don't fully understand, is they'll say to me, well, what exact percentage of your followers are in New York City? And I say, it doesn't matter. The amount of people that we have that follow us, that travel to New York City, do business in New York City, have friends, have family here, it does not matter how many people are technically in New York City. It's frustrating because it's hard to explain, and it's yeah, I don't know. Meaningful connections is definitely a big thing. We do have some restaurants reach out and they're like, well, we're talking to another team too, just so you know, and they're guaranteeing this, that, or another. And I'm like, I will literally say good for them. I would go with them because I will never guarantee it. There's no such thing. And I can tell you right now, they are full of shit and they're lying to you, but come back to me when you're done.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we run our businesses very similar. We always have similar ideologies, and it's so authentic, and everyone else makes it a little bit harder or more frustrating in the process.
Right.
But I look at that. So frustrating.
But there's connections, right? Like I follow, like, let's say some restaurants or some brands that are not based in New York. I'm never going to get to that restaurant, but I just love their content visually. And then I just say, oh, I wish I was going to be here because I would love to eat that. But it's just visually pleasing. I think, I don't know, you don't have to say, well, am I going to physically eat it?
No, we also, your engagement with their content is what pushes it through the algorithm. It's not black and white, right? It's not, yeah. It's hard to explain to the boomers, I tell you. But
exactly.
Actually, there's people our age too, or younger, that still don't get it. But that's okay.
Quite a number of people, 100%. You've accomplished so much. You and Greg both. What is one of your proudest moments of your entire journey so far?
Ooh, that's really hard. Proudest moments. Well, I'd say I'd have to. There's a couple. I think there's a toss-up. I really, really enjoyed being part of the New York City Wine Food Festival team. So there's a few years in a row where they let us run our own show, basically. So like we did a Devour brunch. I mean, it was huge. It was on one of the piers in New York City. We got to share the stage with like the Chopped judges and things like that. And it was so just fun. And like, you know, we provided most of the restaurants that presented in there. So it was like seeing every client, you know, it was just such a cool moment to be able to share, you know, with friends that came to it, with, you know, with Greg standing on stage next to Greg. It was just like, how crazy is this? Because again, didn't think this would happen. And second, I would say, and this is just personal, we did a job with Netflix for the movie Frosted, the Pop-Tart movie that Jerry Seinfeld was his first ever, and like he was there, and you know the cast was there. We had asked the cast all these questions, but I grew up with my father like only watching Seinfeld my entire childhood.
I love that.
I've seen every episode probably 500 times over because I had the whole DVD collection. DVDs. I had the whole DVD collection through season 10.
That's
So
that was a huge moment for me, I think.
Wow. And isn't that amazing too? Something you wouldn't have expected, like how your journey got to that.
Yeah, how was I doing? Yeah, no, it was so weird. They had us interview the cast about, they wanted food questions. And so we had to like come up with things like, okay, what's your favorite or what's your go-to diner order? That was like the first question. Yeah, so it was really fun. And then we actually provided an over-the-top brunch food, which came from Elm Street Diner, who we work with in Stamford, Connecticut, who I love. They personally brought in churro pancake tacos or churro. So they brought them all the way from Stamford, all the way to Midtown for the cast to have while we're filming. It was so fun.
That's amazing.
So fun. So fun. So I've loved chatting with you. Thank you so much for everything. We have one last thing to go, though. Alexandra does this really cool thing where it's rapid fire questions. Something crazy.
So you cannot think whatever comes to the top of your mind. Just spit it out.
And if you have to pass, it's okay. Just pass.
Okay.
Okay. One piece of advice you'd give your younger self.
It gets better.
Well said.
Favorite restaurant? This might be hard.
Hillstone.
Some veggie burgers, so good.
I've never had.
Get out of here.
Now I have to look it up.
We're not friends anymore.
What? I haven't. Wait. For the next question, I know your answer is not going to be veggie burgers. One last meal. What's it going to be? Definitely not veggie burgers.
It's a sushi boat all the way.
I'm a diehard sushi eater.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
Proudest career moment to date.
Woof. This is going to be another ridiculous. This is just a very personal moment. Is having my son walk into Barnes and Noble and our book being like front and center, and him being like "Mommy and Daddy" on the cover.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah,
Yes.
That would be my
Yes.
proudest moment too.
I
That's
get it.
awesome.
Oh, sweet.
he's 4,
And-
so it's very exciting.
Biggest compliment.
Yeah.
What's next?
That is a loaded question.
Very
Very loaded.
Yeah, or not. We can skip.
It's fine. I think there are a lot of avenues that we would like to pursue within the business while expanding, whether that be, the bandwidth to take on more restaurants, to open in new markets, different cities, maybe something on the influencer side. Yeah, there are a lot of things that we're in chat about, but right now we kind of cap about 60 restaurants full time. We have a flawless team that is we are like a well-oiled machine. So we're great right now.
Love it.
That's
I love
what we
it.
love to hear.
Yes. Rebecca, this has been so much fun. For the people living under a rock who don't already follow you, where can they follow you?
We are Devour Power. We are on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. I think that's it. And our book is in Barnes and Noble and like Amazon, all that kind of stuff, and that's Devour NYC. It is 52 of the most over-the-top recipes from 52 restaurants in New York City, things that you see on our page.
Amazing.
I
Rebecca,
love it.
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.